Hello my beautiful darlings, welcome back to my channel. If you happen to be new here, join the family and subscribe to my channel. Today I'm gonna tell you about 5 things that I've done to help my embryo finally stay around and make my IVF journey finally a successful one after 2 previous failed IVF rounds and 3 surgeries under general anesthesia. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from the usual topics of this channel, but not entirely, because if you follow me for long enough from the beginning, you've been through it all with me. You've been through 6 countries that I lived in with me. You've been through my working in a corporate job in finance. You've been through times that I was a flight attendant in the Middle East. You've been with me through the times that I met the love of my life, my now husband, and you've probably seen the video in which I was talking about 5 reasons why I left my highly desired and very highly difficult to get to job in one of the most famous airline carriers in the world that it's very hard to get to. It's very, very hard to get a job, and I left it. And one of the reasons why was to start family. And here we are, nearly 7 years later, and I am very pregnant. I am currently 24 weeks pregnant. But let me tell you, that has been a long, difficult, painful, complicated journey. But here I am now, not only went through all the moving, changing countries, changing job environments completely, going through surgeries, going through health issues, going through countless dozens, over 100 injections, hormonal therapies, surgeries, so many things. But right now I am over 40. I just turned 40 this July and I am pregnant. So as you see, it all worked out at the end. And today I want to share with you what have I done to help my situation, to help my infertility, to find out about my infertility, about the reasons for it, and just do things to eradicate those reasons, as well as increasing my chances for the embryo to implant and create overall the best environment for the embryo to happily find its new home for the next 9 months. So if you've been with me for a while, you know I have a whole IVF dedicated playlist on my channel in which I documented the whole, not the whole round 1. I dedicated the last video of the final step of round 1, which was a failure. So I talked about it in one video, how it was from the beginning and how it resulted in the failure. Then I documented the whole process from the beginning to the end, second time around. And I talked about IVF very in depth. It's a very educational and very knowledgeable videos, so you can check them and have a look and watch them if IVF journey is something that is still ahead of you and you are trying to start it, but you don't know anyone who went through it and you just don't know what you are getting yourself into. Those are very explanatory videos that surely you will find very helpful. And also in that video, in that series, I also talked about failed transfer. So long story, still long, because I have to give you a background story. So I did IVF twice, and then after the first time I changed the clinic because I quickly realized that the first clinic was not out there to help me. This was the money-making machine. It was a private clinic and it somehow worked towards their favor if I will keep doing it endlessly without doing any in-depth research or checkups to find out the actual underlying reason for my infertility. Because if you're trying to get pregnant so many times and even IVF doesn't help, there must be something wrong. There must be a reason for it. And the doctors there were not really bothered to check that. I felt like they kind of wanted me to keep going a couple times till I'm at the breaking point, and then they would actually maybe try to find out the reason and do something about it. But that clinic was very expensive, and the services were not delivering the level of how much we spent on it. And I'm not talking about that I'm bitter because it was failed round. The whole administrative work, the whole administrative staff, it was a mess, disorganization, and it was very, very not welcoming, helpful environment. So I didn't have trust in them, observing how do they work, how disorganized they are. So I can't trust people who are so disorganized. And as it turned out, for a good reason, my intuition very, very rarely fails me. For a good reason, I didn't trust them, because a year after we step away from them and we were already with a different clinic, it turns out the news broke out on TV saying that they were involved in a scandal of mistaking embryos for people. So couples were welcoming through woman's birth, welcoming a child which was not theirs because they mistakenly were swapping embryos, and lots of other issues. Anyway, that was all over the news here in Australia. But after the first time I changed the clinic to a different one, we went through the process overall again. So again, ovarian stimulation through injections and hormonal therapy, growing follicles in order to harvest eggs. Then I had to go through egg retrieval surgeries. That is the procedure that is performed under general anesthesia. And then the next step is, process of creating embryos and all the other things. And then we went ahead. The transfer was failed again. It didn't stick. So my doctor at the time decided it's time to investigate. I was sent to MRI and other tests in order to determine what may be underlying cause of failed transfers when everything is done right. And I'm doing everything right, they are doing everything right. So it was determined through those tests that I have endometriosis. I had 2 separate videos about endometriosis, about symptoms and what it is, as well as my surgery and my look on it and how I feel before and after and the whole thing. So it's also in my channel. So if you suspect that you might have endometriosis, also have a look at those videos. After that, we decided to try again with last remaining embryo. And that was the last attempt. I said I'm going to do it because whoever went through the process, whoever did that, knows very well how strenuous it is to go through IVF. It's extreme burden on a woman, not only physically, but also emotionally, mentally, financially. It's very isolating. It's very strenuous, and it's a hard process. I've been through a lot in my life. I've done lots of difficult things, and I achieved a lot of very big goals in my life. Yet going through this process 3 times was one of the most difficult things I've done. So I decided that this time around I will also focus not only on just trusting medicine and giving myself up to medical team entirely, but I will also do everything that is in my power to prepare myself in the best way to increase the chances of implantation this time around. So that leads me to 5 things that I've done to prepare my body and create the best environment for my embryo to implant, which was success this time. So let me share that with you. But before I do that, I fully understand that this might be a sensitive topic for lots of you. Lots of you might be in the situation that you have already tried many times and still no success. And watching this and watching someone else pregnant talking about it, it can be subconsciously triggering or frustrating. If you feel this way, trust me, I know how you feel, and I'm giving you a huge hug. through the screen because I know what you went through. I understand frustration, I understand pain, I understand sacrifice, I understand disappointment, and I understand feeling resigned because of this process. So if you are at the point of your journey that it's still not the point where you're heading, know that this will come for you as well. And I'm sure of it and I'm certain of it, and I'm with you. So I made a couple of notes here to make sure that I will not miss all the important things that I want to tell you in regard to that topic. So number one, let's start with healthy diet and nutrition. Obviously, everyone knows how important diet is and nutrition. No one needs to be preaching adult people about that. Yet, however, lots of people, despite knowing that, out of either convenience, lack of motivation, laziness, bad habits, still not do the right thing fully. So let me tell you what I did. I was eating very, very healthy prior starting the last process of preparation for the last transfer. I mean, I was eating healthy all my life. It's not like I made a huge changes or only made adjustments for that period of time. I was eating healthily all my life. So it's not like I had to make any drastic changes, but I focused on adding even more healthy elements to it. So only homemade foods, very healthy meals, gluten-free, rich in protein, rich in antioxidants, rich in healthy fats. So I was eating lots of salmon, lots of avocado, lots of berries, all the things that are also known to be good for babies, proper neurological development, nuts, and all the superfoods. You can Google what are the superfoods recommended for the pregnancy or pre-pregnancy. So yeah, lots of green tea as well. It's very important to stay hydrated. So I was drinking tons of water with electrolytes and taking my prenatal vitamins, and very, very importantly, making sure my thyroid function is in the line, because apart from all these problems that I suffered with due to infertility, all the IVFs and surgeries that I had to go through, if you follow me long enough, you know that I went through severe health issues because of my hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's disease. So it's very important to keep this in check or have that checked. If you are trying many times and it's not working, you have to have your thyroid checked as well. If you didn't even get to the point of trying with IVF, but you are just trying naturally and it's not working, one of the first things that you should check is your thyroid function. So yeah, diet, obviously. Healthy, unprocessed foods, no deep fried foods, no gluten, no nothing unhealthy. Nothing, no sweetened drinks, no soda water, no Coca-Cola. I never used to have that anyway before, but I'm just saying, if you do have that, eliminate that from your diet. All the sugary things, limit amount of sugar in your diet, limit everything processed. Yeah, that seems kind of normal, but I know especially in standard American diet, for example, it's very hard to make that adjustment because you are used to kind of by everything that surrounds you, eating not that healthily without even thinking of how unhealthy that is. So it's very important to be mindful of that and make those changes. Of course, I don't have to talk about eliminating smoking or drinking entirely, because that's an obvious fact. And if someone is going through that journey without eliminating that, it's better for the sake of the baby and for the sake of you that journey will become unsuccessful if you are still smoking and drinking, because you should be responsible enough to know better than that. Anyway, moving on to the next thing that I focused on this time. So diet, hydration, supplements, a blood test and keeping everything in check was a fundamental thing, because you eat so many times a day, 3 times a day, so you have to make sure that you eat right and you eat a good thing. Hydration is super important for embryo implantation, very, very important. You can't be dehydrated. Moving on to thing number 2, exercise. Exercise is also very important, not only for the purpose of feeling good and healthy, but also to improve circulation in your body. If you have a good circulation in your body, if your body is generally healthy, you have a good circulation in your uterus, and your uterus is plump, with the proper blood flow and supplied with enough of a nutrient, proper amount of nutrients, and that's very, very important. Now, it's easier said than done, because who likes working out? I mean, my husband loves working out. I was never a person who likes working out. I don't like working out until now. Did it stop me from doing it? The fact that I don't like it? No. One thing about me is that I have been always, ever since very early childhood, very disciplined and motivated person, and I was always a very high achiever. Whatever I set my mind on, I always had to achieve, and that goes from everything, from learning foreign language through being accepted to one of the best universities in Poland, in Europe, finishing my master's, getting my job and climbing corporate ladder, then moving countries. Every goal that I had to put my mind and effort to it, regardless of how hard was it, whether I wanted it, whether I wanted to do it, whether I felt that I'm motivated enough to do it, doesn't matter. If I don't feel like doing it, I still have to force myself to do it. There's something like being lazy to do something doesn't exist in my mindset at all, If I know that I want to achieve something, I'll do what it takes to do it. There's no laziness, there is no messing around. So do I feel like I want to work out every day now? No, I don't. I don't want to. I don't like it. The thought of doing it is not something that I enjoy. But does it stop me from doing it? No. I still work out every day. I still do some form of physical activity every day. Even now in my 6th month of pregnancy, I keep active for the health of the baby, for the healthy pregnancy, for the easier delivery, as well as for myself and me being able to bounce back sooner after pregnancy as well. So the exercises that I focused on prior embryo transfer, it's also important not to overstrain yourself, not to do any crazy CrossFit, marathon running, or anything too strenuous, but daily brisk walks, Pilates and yoga were my 3 go-to things to just keep my body in a proper working cycle of being energized, of circulation being proper, of my hormones working well, of just having energy and feeling good. That also helps tremendously. Next thing that is very important, and in some people's cases, depending on how busy your life is, requires being mindful and requires taking a cautious action to make sure you are doing enough of, and that is rest. I know there are lots of you out there who has busy lives, full-time jobs, other kids already, and IVF on top, and the fertility journey can add so much to it, but you have to make sure you are making enough time to rest. You have to rest, you have to have a proper sleep, 8 hours a day ideally. You have to try to decrease stress, because if you are running like a headless chicken, like a hamster in the wheel, your body is not a vessel that has an optimal environment to conceive. And it's not being said to shame women, because I'm also sick of narrative that women are always blamed for everything. and that if something is not working, it means you are doing something wrong. This is ridiculous, and I'm against that, because not everything is in our control. But if you think about it, you have to be mindful of the fact that if you are in the survival mode, your body will not take up upon itself another task. And conceiving and carrying pregnancy, it's a huge task. So you can't be in survival mode. You can't be overworked. You can't be overstressed. You have to be relaxed. You have to be rested, and you have to be stress-free as much as possible, and do whatever it takes to do so. If it requires cutting some people out of your life, if it requires delegating tasks to other family members, husband included, if it requires taking less work, do whatever it takes to be able to bring more peace upon yourself. So apart from, early nights, enough sleep, reducing stress, reducing cortisol, making sure that there is not too much adrenaline in your daily life, it's very important to focus on your mental health. What may help, what I found was helping me, was yoga practices, focusing on breathing deeply, daily walks, letting go of perfection, because I am perfectionist. I want everything to be always perfect, and it drains lots of energy, takes lots of energy, and so I accept lots of things, let go of lots of things. Not everything has to be always done perfectly, and I just decided to remove lots of tasks from my list for that period of time, because, as I said, being in a constant run mode is not good. It creates lots of health issues, which my body and my life story is the best example of. So I know very well firsthand that there is nothing more detrimental to your health, quality of your life, than stress. I also decided to create some boundaries with some people who are impacting me negatively. Not only not supporting me through the journey, but also impacting me negatively with their negative energy. Enough is enough, you don't have to always be nice, you don't have to be nice girl. You have to be grown-up girl and prioritize what is important to you and what serves you and your life. So if that requires cutting off someone who's even close to you but creates negative energy, so be it. It's better this way anyway. So positive headspace, rest, and cutting out negativity and people who are stress-inducing are very crucial as diet, taking supplements, because no amount of healthy food, vitamins, supplements, blood tests will counteract the damage that is done to your body by stress, lack of sleep, and negativity caused by tumultuous relationships that you have in your life with other people. So those are priorities. And don't feel bad. I'm telling you, because I felt bad for resting a lot, because I was raised in the way all my life, now I'm 40, that I always have to be doing something and always be productive. So it was the hardest part for me to overcome, not to feel bad for not doing something productive. So I'm just trying to give you that advice. Don't feel bad for resting. It took me a while to actually open my eyes to the obvious fact that I've done enough in my life and I've achieved enough in my life. I achieved by 33 more than lots of people do their whole life. So I earned a right to rest, especially during such a crucial period of life that requires so much sacrifice, health-wise, emotional-wise, finances-wise, which is IVF process, of course, and trying to conceive. So this process requires so much dedication that it would be silly and irresponsible to jeopardize all the hard work that you put in it because you don't prioritize rest during that process, because you are like counteracting all the good stuff that you've done in order to succeed. I'm sorry I haven't been numbering the things that I've been talking about to make it probably maybe easier to watch in segments, but I have so much to tell you. I just want to share all my experience with you through the screen all at once, because I hope that all my experience, everything I went through, will help at least one of you. And if it would, that would be so great for me to know that at least one of you, hopefully more, but at least one of you benefited from my struggle and took something for yourself that would help you. Those things that I listed may seem like obvious, like, oh my god, yeah, really sleep, eat well and all that, but you would be surprised to think, if you stop and think about how many women actually do all 5 consistently and focus on doing it right and focuses on doing it well. Because doing all this that I listed requires lots of effort. So it's like a full-time job, if you have a full-time job and on top of that you want to work out, exercise, eat healthy, remember of all your supplements, vitamins, tests, and have your day scheduled that there is enough time for rest as well and mindfulness. It's like another full-time job. But yeah, it is still an effort. So if you do it consistently, this is the only time that it has a chance to work, because it's not enough to obviously do it for 1 day, 2 or 3. It's like with the weight loss, you have to be consistent to see the results. And same with creating breast environment for a baby to grow in. Hopefully my story helps you. Hopefully my tips will help you too. Hopefully subscribe if you haven't done that yet and stay around for the rest of the journey with me, and share your thoughts, share your spot where you are in the process as well. If you are going through the journey, if you are in it, if you are about to start it, if you are about to take up upon another attempt. So I'm very interested how it all works for you. If you are in the process, know that I am with you, I support you, I send you all the good energy, all the love that you need, all the support that you need, and yeah, I'm hugging you and kissing you through the screen. Hopefully it will all be successful for you and it will all work out and you can all get your happy ending at the end of the process. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.